The
So,
format changes. This is Anthony's domain to lead.
Mhm.
There are a lot of changes.
Yes.
there's a good few changes. All right, so we have basically 3 major changes coming to the schedule and format of the LCS. Now, the regular season format is not changing. It's still a double round robin between all the teams and everyone plays 2 games every week. But every week will be split across 3, or technically 4 days if you want to include Academy, but 3 days for LCS. Saturday all 4 games, Sunday all 4 games, and Monday night now has 2 games, which is kind of interesting. They've also heavily integrated the Academy scene into here, like all throughout. So at the end of every Saturday and Sunday, there's an Academy game, and before Monday night games, there will be a bunch of Academy games. I think that's 3 Academy games I see right there. Let me just over here so I can make sure. That's. So what do we think about this schedule change for weeklies?
I like the move from. First of all, I hated staying up Friday nights and watching it because after the end of a full week, you could do other things besides watching League. I'm just saying.
I like Friday nights. Just saying.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. But I do prefer the move to Saturday, Sunday, where you have more time. You can just digest it all in a relaxed manner.
Sorry, keep going.
And then Monday night, I'm all right with the Academy games, but just having 2 games where it's really light, I can work with that.
I think the Monday night choice is weird.
How so?
I don't know what their view numbers were, but in the article that announced the changes, they pointed out that LCS was in America the 3rd most popular sport for 18 to 34-year-olds. And then I looked at the Monday night at 5:30 is when the games start, and my first thought was a lot of 18 to what?
Is that PST?
I don't know.
Pretty sure that's PST.
So what time does that start?
It should be 8
that'll
o'clock
be...
for us then, 8:30. Yeah, 5:30 Pacific time.
Mm-hmm. My first thought though was that even with the time zones people 18 to 34-year-olds even on the West Coast have jobs, right? People work, there are a lot of 9-to-5 workers in the world. So starting it at 5:30 seems weird because it's you would just get home from work, and assuming you live really close to your home and you're home within 30 minutes on the West Coast, well, then you can watch the first game.
The majority of the is this the LCS matches start there, but the majority of the population is east of the Mississippi.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying it's all bad. I just think it's a weirder choice for Monday night for that age group if you're trying to appeal to 18 to 34-year-olds. Friday night seems, I don't know. I don't like it. I literally, the only reason I don't like it is because I won't be able to watch it then. But I feel that's not totally true.
Are you not gonna be home at 8:30 on Mondays?
No, I won't get home on Monday or Wednesday. The reason we're not doing
like I did.
What?
Just watch it in class like I did.
No, it's a seminar. I have to be actively participating or I'll fail. So what the fuck was I saying? Oh, I'm happy to see the Academy integration. I always wanted to get into Academy and see it, especially for those teams that tend to use their academies 10-mans instead of just sort of B teams. But I always found it difficult to be when the fuck is Academy playing again? Oh, there are no, what's happening? When is this? I don't know.
Half the games aren't even casted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, seeing that level of support brought to the Academy, I as a viewer who wanted to get more interested in the Academy, just to know more about the league and the players in the league, both the pro and the Academy. I don't know. I actually think I was just being a big baby about the Monday thing because I was being shitty about change. It's probably fine, right? I wonder why they did it. If they did it to make I wonder what their numbers were if they're putting Academy and Academy Rush on Friday so that Academy can get more views because they were lacking on Thursday. Or I wonder what the deal was there numbers wise. But
do you guys know what Academy Rush specifically is?
Yes.
I read the article. I didn't read anything other than the article.
So it's just what I don't like about Academy Rush is that
you want to explain to other people what it is who aren't the two of us.
I'm about to. So Academy Rush is just gonna have me looking at several different games at the same time. And it's just so it's NFL Red Zone, but for I don't really care.
I don't want that.
I just like I want to know more about something else. I don't know what I want from Academy, like as a viewer, but like I don't want to just see like, oh, here's the big play that happened in this game, and then let's go to another big play that it's just like, so I get to watch a tenth of 5 different games, and then I get to watch
probably
a full
aren't
game.
even invested in.
Yeah, it's just like what I would rather them do is just put Academy casting and production out to like how they used to do it with ESL. And have them just do some amateur stuff and get some new casting blood in the mix. That's what I think we should be doing with Academy. Even if you integrate it to like this, make Friday night that new integration night, and maybe make the the 3 games before the LCS games another chance for newer casters to get into the scene, and have your other casters just stick to LCS. I think the improvement they need to make with Academy.
I like that idea of getting new possible casting talent. That was always like the biggest barrier for me watching Academy games, other than not always knowing when they were or not remembering, because it was kind of like buried some in my mind, I guess. They didn't like hide the information. I just never remembered it. Was that I find it really fucking hard to watch a silent League of Legends game. Right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm VOD reviewing myself, or like for Clash or something, that's one thing. But when I'm not even in control of the camera and there's no sound but like that's all I'm hearing for 35 minutes, I'm like, this is fucking boring, right? Like, okay, like what the fuck is the point, right? So hopefully getting more, I think it would be good to get more casters in that, without overworking the current ones, allowing new potential talent to rise.
I mean, I don't even think you necessarily have to pay them, because you could just have them.
You definitely pay people.
That's not what I'm saying, because you can make it.
That was just a bad way to start them.
Yes.
Right. But you can make it like online thing where a lot of them are volunteering to do this because they want to like get into this scene. There should be definitely some kind of compensation at the end of this, but. Like the idea of here is to get more new blood into the scene, and it's not just to find whatever the B tier is and hire them.
No, I definitely think they should be paid, and not just an exposure. Yes. I think they should definitely get money if they do that. Even if it's online. I am a proponent of paying people for work. That might be like a weird radical idea, but I don't know, dude.
I'm trying to find new ways to like, but.
No, I don't know. To be honest, like the only reason I said that was like in art school, you hear all these horror stories about people paying artists with exposure, but like you can't pay rent with exposure, right? You pay rent with money.
Because in the past, what people have been asking for is for them to just put out games without caster voice over them and just give the director camera. So that people
I hate that.
Right. But then other people would be able to put their own casts over it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Not like live.
Kind of like a job application.
Oh, yeah, well, you mean like more like after the fact?
Someone else just watches over it, and they just
see. I thought you meant like broadcast the games live without voice casting, and I would rather die.
No, I want them to like upload the. They kind of did this a few times.
That I think is fine. That I think is fine. And I actually think that's like pretty good.
I want them to expand on that and try to get more amateurs in. Though I think the collegiate scene does that a lot, because last year there was like an offer for anybody who people who are part of the college scene to apply to be casters for games and stuff. Like I could have casted NGIT's games because I went to NGIT. Like that would have been easy for me to get into, but. And then from there, a few of them I think got actually brought up to the main broadcast. So something more like that is what I'm trying to have happen here.
I see.
All right. So now, as for my take on the expanding the LCS, I'm for more games across the week in general. Like I want best of threes back, and I want the like 4 or 5 day schedule across the week. I want that. That's what I want. They're not going to give it to me. I'm never going to get it. But
neither of us will get the thing we crave, Anthony.
Not until we get billions.
It's better quality games, better quality series, but
like I understand why they don't do it. It's a production cost. It's just,
it probably doesn't make them a lot of money in North America.
Yeah,
it doesn't make them as much money. Their current deals are for 10 games, not for what is that? 20 to 15 a week, or no, 20 to 30 a week. So they'd have to like ask more money from their sponsors, who might not be willing to give that money for the extra time either way.
It also might just harm viewership, right? Like
I think it would harm it less.
Countries where esports are more integrated into the culture.
So just Korea, got it.
So just Korea can get away with those kinds of things because people are more likely to engage with them. Whereas,
like North America.
Yeah, sorry. Whereas like North America, where it's not as integrated, it's just like, there's no guarantee they're gonna be able to make money on the back end of people watching, right? And you don't want them to get like fucked that way. So
yeah.
I like totally spaced in the middle of that sentence, and
yes,
I am
did.
super sorry.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the spring playoff format. So the bracket has been changed so that the top 4 teams will start in a winner's bracket, and the 6th and 5th place teams will start in a loser's bracket. And then it's played out basically as a double elimination bracket, with first seed getting choice of, I think, 4th or 2nd seed. Yes, they can choose between the 4th or 2nd seed, and then just double elimination from there. So, what are our thoughts?
Yes.
I want to reset.
What do you
want?
Reset? Because
I want to reset.
In the quote-unquote finals, which is technically losers... No, it's grand finals, but there's no bracket reset. Like, it's just another best of 5. So if you won your first 2 series as first seed to the last one and lost, you don't get to lose twice. You only lose once and you're out. So there's no...
Oh, do you mean like a reset like in Street Fighter tournaments?
I mean, fighting game tournaments and most other tournaments that have a reset like that.
Give me a reset. I wanted to have it. Just get another day just so that they can have another BO5. Or like something. They need some sort of cooldown time in between. But I want to reset.
I think they can do it in one day if they make some changes to just the way that the last best of works. But Matt, what do you think?
I don't give a shit about resets because I haven't thought about them until just now. I think it's an interesting change. I like the X1, X2 brackets, as they're calling them, giving
okay, never mind. Go.
What?
I thought you were in the summer bracket. Go.
No, they have it here too. I like the matches between like 1st and 4th and 3rd and 2nd. The losers of those being able to get another shot in that sort of losers route. I quite like that. I do quite like... I like these changes. I was reading this over today, and I was like, honestly, like, I'm really stoked to see how this plays out. I think that they're right when they say that this will make it more likely that the better teams win, while also making it such that it's still possible to have like a miracle run, right? Which is, I think, your phrase. I honestly think that this is a pretty cool change, and I'm excited to see how it works. I do feel weird that spring playoffs no longer seem to bear on worlds at all.
Yeah, so we can talk about that next.
Well, that's like the intermediary between the two, but
yeah. So they've part of these changes. They've also removed championship points from the spring split and the summer split. So now the only way to get into worlds is by getting top 3 in summer split.
Yeah.
Now you top 8 get to play in the playoffs in summer split. So, but let's talk about the removal of championship points for a second here. What do we think? For me, I think that the championship...
Wait, sorry, what are we talking... The removal of championship points?
Yeah. So, for me, championship points removal really shouldn't change too much. It's happened twice in, like, 4 years that a team that I think should not have gone to Worlds has went to Worlds off of points. And that honestly shouldn't happen. But I feel like there's an easier way to solve that problem by forcing all of the teams besides the winner of summer to play in the gauntlet. Or what I would do is give both brackets points, and then whoever gets the most points goes as first seed guaranteed, and then everyone else plays in a double elimination gauntlet. So it's hard for me to say that this change will be better when there were other changes that would be less disruptive to the status quo, I'll call it, but I don't really mean to have that connotation. But I don't know. I like the points. I like this, spring kind of mattering towards summer. It made the year long better. But if we just shorten the season, it wouldn't matter.
I mean, I understand why they might take it out, because for what happened in Korea, because I just like talking about Korea, was that Griffin didn't make it to Worlds when they first entered the scene because they entered in summer and didn't have enough
their
points.
best of fives.
No,
they lost to Genji.
This is before. This was when Griffin
they lost to Genji that year.
This was when
As
Griffin.
As per usual, I have tapped out of the LCK conversation and would like a text message when we return to the end of the North
They
America.
lost to Genji in the gauntlet, and then Genji promptly got their shit kicked in. I don't know why people think
on the LCS podcast.
Would you hold on a minute?
No, because this was when Griffin entered, because they entered in the summer playoffs.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah,
I mean, and they didn't get enough LCS points to actually make it. That's what happened. And everyone felt like Griffin should have went.
It went well. They had to play 2 best of 5 and they lost both of them.
They went. Hold on. Okay, because this is like 3 splits. Because when
it's
Griffin
one
entered.
Split. You're saying it's 1 split. They had to play KT in the final, then they had to play Genji in the gauntlet, and they lost both of them. They got 3-0'd by KT.
Okay, which year are we talking about? Because when Griffin entered,
they joined 2018.
Okay. Now I gotta. No, this is tangential. All right.
Dude,
anyhow,
can we please fucking stop talking about LCK?
Back to the focus. Sometimes.
Fuck me, guys.
I know, but it's the best example that I had.
Really
I
just
not.
It's an NALCS podcast.
Okay.
Talk about 100 Thieves and CLG getting in those 2 years.
That's exactly what you should talk about. Also, they definitely didn't change the LCS playoff structure because of the LCK. Just as a quick word.
No, I understand.
Also,
but
the LCS doesn't have relegations.
Yeah, they don't have relegations. But at least in, in the summer playoffs, whoever gets the best roster at that time just makes it to Worlds. And then spring just doesn't have anything related to it, which kind of sucks, because it's like, if you compare the 2 international tournaments that they're going to, you definitely put Worlds over MSI every time. You think it's
MSI has implications on World seeding.
Mm-hmm.
So the results do kind of matter in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still your top 3 teams from summer playoffs that are going to make it.
I mean, does anybody think the top 3 teams from summer haven't been the teams that should go every year for the past 4 years?
But
the only year where it was contentious was this year, because TSM and Clutch went to 5 games twice.
Mm-hmm.
And Clutch won both of them.
Yeah, but then now spring doesn't have it as hefty as a weight.
I agree that I don't like that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's just a trade-off. Either way, it shouldn't make that much of a difference, but I would have still liked to have some sort of.
I don't think teams are going to be. Sorry, keep going.
No. I was done with my thought. Yeah.
I don't think teams are going to be less competitive, in the sense that it doesn't feel to me like they're really going to be teams who are hard phoning it in and memeing away finals, because it's still a finals, right? You still get their banner, you still it still matters in some sense. The fact that it doesn't matter for Worlds, do we know if it matters for MSI?
Yes, it's still the side of MSI.
Yeah, so it still matters in that sense, right? So I don't totally feel bad about it, right? Actually, I didn't realize that before. So knowing that, I actually feel fine about it. I kind of don't give a shit. Just because I don't know. I don't mind the fact that spring doesn't matter for Worlds, because MSI kind of matters for Worlds, and I don't know. It's not like it's nothing, right? Like if there was literally no reward whatsoever, I would be like, all right, that's kind of a fucking problem. But it's, whatever.
I mean, there's the money reward that's really paltry and sort of meaningless, and no one ever talks about it. That's a different problem.
Yeah, there's the banner reward, right? But yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the summer playoff format, which is so confusing. Oh my god.
No, it's basically the same as
it.
that.
Why?
Yeah, no.
It's just there's like.
I mean, this is not the most efficient graph, right? Like, there's a lot here.
I'm just looking at this, and it's like, okay, so you have 2 seeds that have a bye, and another 2 seeds that have a. What do you call a negative? I guess they start in the losers bracket, and then 3rd to 6th start in the winners bracket, and then they dynamic seed again for the next step. It's so much, and I'm just like, can we have like come up with a simpler method? I didn't think the old setup was that bad, and I think if you just made the gauntlet more inclusive, it would have been better. But instead, we have this concoction that I don't know.
It basically follows the same format as it looks like it follows the same format as spring, and I don't have as much of a problem as this one because it's just the top 3 teams at the end of it just go. I actually like it.
It simplifies who's going, but I don't think it simplifies who's like making playoffs where. But at the same time, this seeds 8 teams into playoffs.
I kind of like that.
I don't. There's 10 teams in this league. That's 80% of the league making playoffs.
Rock and roll, dude.
Come on. If maybe GG makes that upset. That's for later. But hey.
Someone made a comment to me that GGS was aspiring to make playoffs in summer, and I'm just like, so you're going to finish top 8? That's a mighty heavy goal there. You got to be maybe top 80%-ish. So it's just, it feels so like, if they weren't going to add more teams, they shouldn't have done this. They should have just chopped off the bottom 2 and started, in the top half of the bracket, I guess.
Okay, so then it would have been the top 6 team instead of the
I would have just ran
top
spring
8.
back and done the same thing twice.
Okay. Actually, that does sound kind of fair, but I don't know. I want to see more games. I want to see a miracle run.
I get it, but like, you got your miracles before. Clutch has beaten TSM twice in quarters.
To be honest, I do feel like I get the concern of the 8 because like I get the concern thinking a little bit harder about it. Initially, I was just like, hell yeah, more league, more playoff games. But then I was like, but wait a minute, right? Like the 8th seed is usually not that good, right? Like usually the 8th seed is not playing.
We don't like talking about that team.
We don't. Yeah, like usually 7th and 8th seed, like sometimes 7th and 6th is really tight, right? And that, like, I get that, but 8th seed is typically pretty like, I don't know, dude. Like, this is not that fun to watch League of Legends wise. So throwing them in, right? Like, I don't super see many 8th seed teams making that miracle run. I just like don't. Maybe the 7th, but like I think you could probably have kept it at 6 and kept it kind of similar to the spring, but.
I don't even think a 5th or 6th place team has ever said to me, this team is going to make Worlds and do well.
No.
The only time I think that's ever happened was when Cloud9 were like 10th place, and then they went to Worlds semifinals. That's the only time that I've ever been close.
That's like one time, and it's also like Cloud9, right? Like,
but they also went from like 10th place at week 5 to like 4th or something. I don't remember. But like... They went really far. They improved a lot in that summer. And oh my god, it was such a turnaround for that team, and they went really far. That's never happening again, and not happening to a team who isn't Cloud9, who doesn't have that kind of like prestige. If Cloud9's 8th this split, go ahead, clip this and call it back at me. I'm glad somebody.
But no, don't do that because you said teams that aren't Cloud9 can't do it, which means if Cloud9 is 8th, then. You're still right.
That's my point, though. My point is if Cloud9 pulls this miracle run off again, I don't think it's ever gonna happen, even with them again. But just,
I see.
If you care enough.
Now you're asking me to eat shit. No,
I am. Please make me eat shit. Please, somebody care that much.
Time to go to the Reddit threads.
I'm calling Jack. I'm calling Jack right now, boys.
Just got him on the phone.
I just wish it was
speed
less
dial,
confusing, and I wish that it was an 8 team. I feel like 8 teams is way too many teams in summer. 80% of the league, for fuck's sake. 80%.
Okay.
That's a legitimate concern, I think.
It is. I still like the more games. All right.
More games is fine. Expand the league then. Grow the brand. I get it. You can't. They moved to 3 days. They could have done it. They could have added 2 more teams.
You wanna take us on home?
Yes, I will. I forgot to do this every single time, but the show is getting its own dedicated channel.
Motherfucker! I also keep forgetting to correct you.
The show's getting its own dedicated channel, Legendary Podcast. Search it on YouTube; it'll pop up, or you could look at the description of this video.
Legendary Podcast Network.
Just Legendary Podcast.
Yeah, but now it's a network anyway.
No.
That was the network.
Catch us live on my twitch.tv/2K11 at 7 p.m. Eastern normally, hopefully. Especially if we're going to keep going for almost 2 hours every time.
No, we have to do 8 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like 8 o'clock.
I will not get home. I'm not getting home until 7:30 on Tuesdays.
Okay. So 8 o'clock then. We're changing the time.
This was not a one-time deal. I left school. I left my class early today, and I got home at 7:15. Like,
have a good day.